think it's time for me to again introduce Hank. Hank McDonald is the new building official. He can tell you a little bit about himself if he chooses, or not. That's up to him, but we're just going to jump into the rest of the program.
Thank you, Andy. As Andy said, I'm fairly new with Washington County. I have been in the trades and in building code administration for quite a number of years. I started out as a tradesperson. I was in the heating, ventilation, air conditioning industry for a number of years, and then I went on into plumbing as a result of working for a heating and plumbing shop and seeing a need in the plumbing side of the house. I first started in code administration back in 1987 and have been actively involved in code administration since then. I've been a building official for approximately going on 18, 19 years now. But what's important here is what is the process that you all deal with on a daily basis. So when we look at building, and we're focusing just on building here, the building process can be broken down into two parts. One part is the review process and the other part is the inspection process. But when we look closer at those two parts, the part that we're going to look at today is going to be the application and review process. And so we can break that down into three parts. That's the application itself, the review, and then finally the issuance. And so that's what our focus today is going to be. And in order to kind of get you through that whole focused discussion of that process, I'm going to introduce you to four of my staff members. These are the people who you are going to be faced with when you're navigating through this process. And these are the people who truly are going to partner with you to kind of navigate this thing. This is like the pilot vessel, right, coming over the bar. So we want you to be successful, because when you're successful, we're successful, and then we want our documentation to document the fact that we looked at these proposal reviews, development proposals. We documented that they are in compliance with the standards that are currently, being used by this and other jurisdictions around the state of Oregon or the country for that matter. And then finally, that those plans were properly put together, and that we can, issue a permit that is in compliance with all the rules, regulations that exist. So it's our job to kind of navigate you through that whole process. So in order to have that discussion today, I'm going to introduce four of my staff members. I'm going to start with Carol Scott. Carol Scott's been with Washington County for 18 years. She had 3 years with current planning and also 13 years with the building services. Carol's been in positions like Administrative Specialist 2, Permit Tech 2, and is currently our Senior Permit Tech. So what does that mean? And that means that basically as Senior, Carol is the go-to technical expert for the permitting services staff. She handles the most complex permitting issues. So when staff is challenged with an application or with a process, they go to Carol. And with her experience, she helps that staff person, but also our customers, once again, navigate through the process of the initial application. Secondly, I'm going to introduce Nancy Kogan. Nancy's been with Washington County for 23 years. During that 23-year period, she worked 8 years for assessment and taxation and 15 years in building services. She's held positions of Administrative Specialist 2, Senior Administrative Specialist, and is currently our building permits supervisor. Now, Nancy manages a staff that is really our face to our customer. Her staff is the first line contact that you're going to have when you walk through the door to get you through that, once again, that application and submission process. So, we respect the amount of experience and the expertise that Nancy brings to the table. She has an outstanding team, and they are very, very dedicated to customer service. Thirdly, I would like to introduce Yvette Hamilton. Yvette's been with Washington County for 31 years. She's held positions of data entry operator, administrative specialist 2, and trained into plans examiner, and is currently our senior plans examiner. So what does that mean? That means that she is a technical expert for the plans review staff that are looking at all the residential projects. She helps with and manages the workload and deals with the most challenging designs that we get through the door, helping, once again, staff to get through those plan reviews so that we can get to issuance more quickly, but also helping customers with the requirements that need to be properly documented in those designs so that we can get to, once again, to issuance. And then finally, I'm going to introduce Jeremy Williams. Jeremy Williams has been with Washington County for only 7 months now, slightly longer than I've been here. But Jeremy is a professional engineer. We're very happy to have him on board. He has 12 years experience in the private sector as a consulting engineer, and he manages the residential plan review team and is very focused on streamlining the processes that you have to deal with when you come through our doors to get a permit. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Carol Scott to start kind of walking you through that first half of the process, which is application, review, and issuance. Carol?